Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It is me, Curly Cake Lamb, and I'm here today to bring you a review from Netflix. So today I will be reviewing 20-somethings. Have y'all checked out that show on Netflix? I think it just came out recently, but I decided to give it a chance. Me and my husband decided to give it a chance because we are dating show people. Not that 20-somethings was a dating show, but we thought it would be somewhere along those lines, a real world-esque maybe, but more modern. But we also thought it would be like not Are You the One, but somewhere like in there, and plus we liked Love Is Blind, so it was like, okay, Netflix, we're gonna give it a try. So 20-somethings was the exact opposite of what we thought, but we ended up liking the show anyway. So of course you had the guys Bruce, Kamari, Michael, and Keanu. And then, of course, Bruce ended up leaving. And then you had Adam. And then you had the girls Isha, Rocky, Alexis. And what is that other girl's name? Y'all, I don't know the other girl's name. Hold on, let's see. I'm on Instagram. She won in this picture. Abby. Why I thought her sister name was Abby. I really thought her sister name was Abby. Anyway, I enjoyed the show. First, it was interesting because they separated the guys and the girls. And usually when you have a show, they put everybody in the same house. So I thought that was interesting, first off. Second off, Abby was from Texas. I think Alexis was from Miami. Rocky was from some part of Florida as well. And then Isha was from California. And then Michael was from California. Kamari was from North Carolina. Keanu was from Alabama. Adam was from like Seattle or somewhere. And then I'm missing a guy. Bruce was from South Carolina. So out of all those characters, I could relate most to Kamari and Bruce because they were from the South, with Bruce being from South Carolina and then Kamari being from North Carolina. And of course, I'm from North Carolina. Let me tell you something. It's always interesting to see on these kind of shows people who are from North Carolina because typically, on the show, you always get somebody from LA. You always get somebody from Atlanta. You always get somebody from New Orleans. Or, New York or somewhere like that. But when they come from like Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, I'm like, okay, let me see what this person is about. Because you never really see people from like your part of the map on TV. You know what I'm saying? Especially on a reality show. So the person, Kamari, let me tell you something. If I ain't never heard somebody that was so North Carolina, it was Kamari. Now, and what I mean by that is because I'm black and I'm from North Carolina. And in Kamari, where he's from, he was from a place not too far from me. So the things that he was saying, I was like, oh my God, he sounds like he's from North Carolina. And then I was just like, wow, that's crazy. He's from my area. But anyway, and with Bruce, because he was just so country. I mean, sometimes, I really don't think I'm country until I say certain things and I really hear it. But then y'all who watch my videos, y'all might be like, ooh, she is really country. But, anyway, so I like the show. And this is why I like the show. The show was not messy at all. Typically sometimes I think I've grown out of reality shows because I'm just tired of the mess. But for one, 20-somethings was not a mess. It was very, very, very relatable. And I say this because I'm in my 20s and I'm 29. And next week I will be 30. So the things that they were going through or talking about in their 20s, I can relate so much because when you are in your 20s, you know everything is happening, but you know everything is happening and it's happening fast. So you're trying to figure it out. And I think out of every decade in a person's life, I think the 20s are the 10 years that the most happens to a person in their life. You leave high school when you're 18, you go to college, you graduate at 20, maybe 23, 22, 23. And I think I graduated at 23 or 24. No, I graduated in 2015. So I was 23. I was about to be 24 because I had to do a 5th year because I transferred schools. But you graduate, you trying to get out here, you trying to get a job, you trying to figure it out. You may have to go back home with your mom, your daddy, or whoever you was living with before you left for college because you're trying to get on your feet. Then some who get on their feet, you got a degree, but you're trying to get a job, but you don't have the experience to get that job that you just went to school to get qualified for. So now you're working 1 or 2 jobs. You're trying to grind and get your money. You're trying to get your money up. You're trying to get a car. You know, you're trying to get insurance. You're trying to learn about benefits on the job. You know, it's a lot. And so to see them figuring it out, making it work was interesting, and I appreciated it. Michael's jokes were terrible, y'all. Michael's jokes were so terrible. I was like, Michael moved to Austin to become a comedian. Not trying to do the Umbrella Dream, but he was funny, like witty, like a nerdy, dry humor, like when they were talking to him. But like as a comedian, I couldn't see it. Another thing was, I really respected Isha's hustle because, you know, sometimes as a creative, you know, you really value what it is you're creating, and you hope, your one hope is to see people liking and reacting to something that you made, and you get this deep sense of satisfaction when somebody enjoys something that you made. I now see why grandmas always want people to come over and eat, because they get satisfaction from seeing other people enjoy things that they made. Y'all like how I tied that in. But anyway, just seeing her go to those boutiques, I was like, girl, honestly, you go into them 1-2 boutiques. I know it was TV and they probably didn't show us all the boutiques that she went to, but I was like, girl, you was in Austin. I would have been taking my stuff to Dallas. I would have been taking my stuff to Houston, or what's the next nearest city near Austin? I don't know, but girl, I would have been there. I would have been calling people. In addition to, of course, she's building her platform on Instagram. And I love things that are eclectic. I love things that are a little bit gaudy. I like things that stand out and get your attention. I like things that are be seen items. And I just feel like with her pieces, they were definitely a be seen in item. And I feel like I like different patterns. I'm a pattern person. Like if it's plain, I don't have many solid colored items in my closet. Everything got a pattern on it. Most of it is animal print, but it's either a graphic tee, it's plaid, it's striped, it's houndstooth, you know, it's animal print, it's tribal patterns, it's African print, you know. And to see her in her fashion with the twist on Indian tradition and clothing, I thought it was beautiful. So shout out to Isha. I loved Rocky. I loved her hair. I loved her style. I liked her personality. The entanglements that happened in the house, you know, are another story, you know, because she ended up, I wonder if her and Kamara are still cool. I don't know, but it was just, you know, interesting to see. Of course, you know, when you put guys and girls together, somebody is gone, you know. So Kamari with his entanglements with Abby and with Rocky, you know, I'm like, really, Kamari? thought it was interesting. Abby was the only divorcee in the house and she was 26, I want to say. She said she got married really young, and so it was interesting to see that perspective, her tell her story from her perspective, because there are a lot of people who get married young and it doesn't necessarily work out between them and their spouse, and so then they're trying to get on their feet and figure it out. It's one thing to be young, but it's another thing to be young and married. I do not recommend. I say wait as long as you can and get married. I got married at 26. That was after I graduated high school, after I graduated college, after I got a job and did things for myself and got myself together. I recommend that route. I know things happen in life, but I do not recommend getting married young. And I'm glad that I waited until I was my age. Sometimes getting married young works out for some people, but for the most of the young population that gets married young, it does not. And it can give you a rocky start into your 20s, especially when in your young 20s, when you're trying to establish yourself as a person, figure out yourself as a person, and get your wings so you can fly. You know what I'm saying? I was sad to see Bruce go home, because I liked Bruce. He had that southern twang. Like I said, he had that southern charm. I thought it was interesting how Isha viewed him being from the West Coast. She viewed him to be very conservative and closed-minded. And he wasn't that. He was the exact opposite. And I'm just like, everybody from the South is not a stick in the mud. I know, politically it may seem like right now, especially, that a lot of the Southerners are sticks in the mud. They are very judgmental. They're not open-minded to things, and I'm not going to say I'm open-minded to everything, because I'm not. But at the same time, you got to be willing to love people and accept people for who they are, because that's their own destination, their own journey. Yeah, you can pray for them. Yeah, you can want something for them, but they have to want that for themselves. I love the way that Bruce comforted Keanu when his grandmother died. I just thought that was beautiful. That was a beautiful moment, because Keanu, with him trying to find himself and his identity, he was very closed off as a person, and he was trying to figure it out, and Bruce helped him blossom into a different person. He was very comforting to him, and Bruce even started crying, which I thought was touching in itself. What else? I thought Isha and Michael were cute. I really thought Michael was gonna leave Isha though and go back to LA, but he decided to stay, and I thought that was interesting. What else? I liked the relationship between Keanu and Alexis. I thought that was cute. And I appreciated Alexis because she always kept it straightforward and told it like it was. So, I say all that to say this. I like the show 20-somethings. Let me know your thoughts. I'm sure forgot a lot of things that happened, but those were just the things that were right off my mind that I wanted to talk about for sure. But let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of 20-somethings on Netflix. Rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be back with more videos. Deuces.